Hey, what's going on, guys? These are the best RGB controllers for Xbox and PC. It's a pretty short list, but you might want to know what's going on over here. So let's start with number 3 on the list. Yup, I told you it's a short list. I only got 3 types of controllers out here. Listen up. So let's start with number 3. We have the Razer Wolverine collection. Now there's a Razer Wolverine Ultimate and the Razer Wolverine V2 Chroma. I'm really talking more about the V2 Chroma, but we could throw the Razer Wolverine Ultimate in there because they both do come with customizable RGB in there. These are pretty good controllers, but they're a little overpriced. If you're a person who just wants RGB, no reason to spend $60 to $100 on a controller that you just want to light up, right? On top of that, I am also personally not even a fan of those controllers. They're so close to being good controllers to me, but their back buttons along with their trigger stops are just very lackluster in my opinion. So I don't think the price is justified at all. In my personal opinion, I have the Razer Wolverines. They should be netted at about a $50 purchase, but they're way higher than that, and for that reason, I just can't throw them any higher on the list here. Some people would argue me till death, and they could die, but I'm going to stay with what I'm talking about right now. Number 2 on the list, we have the Afterglow controllers. The Afterglow controllers give number 1 on this list a big run for its money. But when we get to number 1, you'll understand why I'm choosing number 1 as number 1. But the Afterglow controllers are a really great RGB collection. The only problem with the Afterglow controllers is that all they do is glow. No back buttons, no trigger stops, no customizations, they just glow. They just got RGB. But from an RGB perspective, these are top tier controllers. I mean, they're really cheap. They're like $30 a controller. You can buy them pretty much anywhere you go, whether it's a GameStop, a Best Buy, a Walmart, they're everywhere. They're nice, neat, classic. They're clean. You can customize all the colors. There's so many different effects. I love them. The Afterglow controller, when it comes to just having a good time, it's pretty, it's nice. You could show it off, and it doesn't have to be $100, $200 controller for people to know, oh, this is kind of cool. So I have that ranked as number 2. Then we have number 1, and if you read my comments, if you watched the review of this controller, if you've been paying attention, this is my most favorite RGB controller, hands down. And it goes to the PowerA Spectra Infinity. That is let me get it out here. Actually, hold on. I love this controller so much. You don't even know. It does so many things right for a $30 price point. It knocks everything out the park. Now, let's answer one big question that you guys probably already have. Is it reliable? Is it durable? It's $30, right? So from that perspective, if you really want something that's going to be long lasting, I mean, again, that's why some people would argue me that the Razer controller should be number 1. But we're talking about RGB here, right? First and foremost, the average person with the average controller, right, is going to last at least 6 months with it. 6, maybe even a year, 2 years. The average person is just fine with whatever controller they get for a long time. If you're a person that games hard and long, then okay, maybe this controller doesn't end up being your number 1, and I can completely understand that. But for $30, this controller does more than enough to justify the number 1 spot on this list, even though the durability and reliability may not be the best. Let's start with the trigger stops. Really good trigger stops for a $30 controller. Remappable back buttons. And look at where the buttons are placed. Right where they're supposed to be. Right on the sides. Beautiful. RGB that you can see in the nighttime. It's really nice. The only problem that I personally have with this controller is that it's not wireless. That's the only thing. If they made it wireless, you guys could never argue me on this topic. But because it's not wireless, I mean, hey, it's up for debate. But this controller, for me, is just the number 1 Xbox/gaming PC controller that you could possibly buy. And that's my list. Let me know if I was bugging, if I said anything wrong. I definitely would love to hear it down in the comments below. I appreciate you coming by. Remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Chukavelli was in, and now Chukavelli is out. Peace, y'all.